What's up out there? Let's talk about some more Into the Abyss. It's had a couple of days to percolate, and I can tell you what I've been doing. I've done a little bit of combat. I've got my attack level up to 5, Abyss level 5. I've got, what do we got? Mining up to level 3, smithing up to level 2, crafting is currently at level 4, and I got harvesting up to level 10. So, figured I would discuss some of the things that I've ran into. Malx, the developer of this game, actually responded to the first video I put out for the Abyss and explained a couple of things to me. So I got some clarity on a couple of things, and they've changed some things since the game came out, and I've spent some time learning stuff. So let's take a little deeper look into everything in here. First and foremost, we need to define Skill XP and Abyssal XP. They are two different things, and you will find that if you go look at like a ring, where's the skilling ring? We can go up and look at that real quick. I believe this has been added since the original game, or since the expansion launched. I think they've actually added this. It's very helpful now because you now know what you're going to get where. Except I can't find the, let's see here. Ring of Skilling. There it is. So they've put this little skill XP in here now so that it highlights it. That actually means that it is skill XP and not Abyssal XP. So that helps out identify which is which. So they are two different realms until they're not, which we'll get into. It gets a little bit weird and a little bit awkward, but basically if you think of everything for the base game as basically the base game, and then 99% of the base game stuff does not apply to the Abyssal expansion, you're probably fairly safe to think of that. But there are things that do cross over. So I believe this said global XP. Now it says grants 8% plus 8% skill XP. So they've changed, not only did they change the wording on it, but they changed the actual, I don't know where I'm going with that because it is wording, but like they changed it from global to skill, so it identifies it. I was kind of thinking in the back of my head, global meaning Melvor based versus Abyssal based, because if you go click on a skill, you'll see that there's the Melvor realm and then the Abyssal realm. So they identify both different realms. It just depends on where you're at to get which bonus. So that skill XP and Abyssal skill XP, they are not interchangeable, and they are only applicable on the one side or the other. So pretty much as we kind of expected, this is a standalone, basically a standalone expansion, which is fine. And most things don't transfer over. However, there are some things that do, and we'll get into that here. So if we go down here to like crafting, you will notice that your chance to preserve resources and chance to double items is the same. This is the exact same thing. Your mastery is also the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter which realm you're in, those stats can all be modified. So if I go over here to the Crown of Relics, we now have, what is this, preserve resources? We have 44% chance to preserve resources. If I swap this over, it goes to 19. So that is definitely having an impact. You're not getting the, I don't think there's another impact on this. It's just 10% chance to preserve resources, or 25 if you have charge of relics in the bank. So I'm probably getting the 25 from the Crown of Relics, I guess, or the charges. I didn't think I had that many in the vault, but I guess I do. So you can actually impact that with the Crown of Relics. The Signet Ring, this gives you a chance to double items. And if you take this off, you go from, I currently went from 62 to 52. So if I equip, let's see, we equip, nope, I don't have that in my inventory. So if I equip this thing back on here, we're going to go up to 59% and 41%. That's because the Ring of Wealth gives you 7% chance to double it, but minus 3% chance to preserve resources. So you don't really want to use that. You want to use the Signet Ring, and that will give you a chance to preserve resources and chance to gain double resources with these two. Like they still work. Now, I've not seen, I've got a mod that actually uses mastery tokens, so I haven't seen whether we actually get mastery tokens or not. I'm not sure if the Clue Chaser's insignia is going to work. This is supposed to give you a 10% chance to receive global rare items like mastery tokens, bird nest, stuff like that. I don't know if that still applies or not. And like I said, I have a mod on, so I can't really tell. So if you look at this chisel, this is for crafting. This is where I say things apply until they don't. This gives you 3% mastery XP for the Melvor realm only, which is listed in there. It actually says you only get the mastery XP for the Melvor realm, and then a 0.1 interval. So if I take this off, we go to 1.75 seconds, and we're at 727, 363, 727, 363. So it lives up to what it says. The crafting gloves, 10% chance to gain gold in crafting when making an item that sells for GP equal to 30% of the base price. GP meaning gold, not abyssal gold. So it actually identifies the different one. And then it says plus 3% crafting mastery for Melvor realm only. So these crafting gloves don't do anything in here. Now the skiller's suit, if you do the township skilling suit, you can actually get this. We're at 736 and 368 for the mastery. If I switch this over, these both go up 775 and 387. So you could put more mastery on. I chose to go with if it was a different skill, I would do the skilling suit, but because I'm burning materials off, I wanted to go with Crown of Relics. So I am not going to get the global mastery from this, but I don't have anything else to equip. So I would have to put the hat on to get the global mastery on this. So that's kind of how those work. And you can kind of interchange some things. The artisan pouch still works. I believe that 15% chance to double items and 0.3 crafting interval both apply. So we go down to 47 and 1.95. If I equip that back up, we go to 1.65 and 62%. So those all apply. So there are certain things that will apply and certain things that won't. And it looks like they will say, like this one here says GP. So GP is not the abyssal side. And it also says crafting mastery for Melvor realm only. So this one, it spells it out. That's what I'm trying to say. Now the Ring of Mastery, you get 7% global mastery. This one does apply. So there's 736 and 368. So that one does apply. And the global mastery here, we get 4% global mastery. This goes down. So if I put that back up, but the Undead Enhancement 3, the augmented version, gives you plus 4% global skill XP, does not apply because this is skill XP, not abyssal. So that they've made some changes to identify what goes with what. The Ghostly Parrot, don't know if that applies or not. This gives you a 10% chance to receive global rare items like mastery tokens, bird nest, stuff like that. I'm not sure if it still applies or not. I'm running this and the Clue Chasers just because. So in a general sense, for most skills, you can run, for any of the skills that use materials, you can run the Crown of Relics to save your items, and you can run or give a little bit of a percent to save. You can also run the Signet Ring for a chance to double items. You can also run the Ancient Ring of Mastery. You could do the skilling suit for, like, say, wood cutting or fishing or something like that, where you're actually gathering. You can run the skilling suit for that, because the Crown of Relics isn't going to apply. And then just look at your tools and everything and make sure that they don't say verbiage that doesn't take it out of take it off the list, shall you say. So there was another interesting comment that was made, and that was this is from Maux. This was regarding, was it mining? Okay, so if we go into mining and I equip the dirty mining boots, these give you a minus 0.10 second interval. So if we go in, that would be in my skilling suit, and I would have those right here. So if I open this up, the only thing these boots do is reduce your mining interval by 0.1 second. Okay, so if I go into mining, we are mining at 0.9, and the mastery is 68 and 34. So if I go and equip these boots, we go down in mastery from 68 and 34 to 60 and 30, and we lose our second. So his comment was that I don't know how long this has been here. I never noticed it because I don't really ever pay attention. Like, we're totally eagle-eyed on the expansion now, what applies, what doesn't. So I'm paying attention to most things that I wouldn't normally. I would just throw something on. Like if I was doing mining in the past, I would probably just do the full skilling suit and not worry about it, because I would be going for the XP and the mastery from that. But here, none of this really applies. I would probably, I could still do the mastery one, I suppose, but nothing really applies on here because it's all skill XP or earthly realm or whatever, Melvorly realm. But the interesting thing about this is when you equip these boots, they actually reduce the mastery that you get. And apparently he was saying that's been in here. I don't know how long it's been in the game, but it's designed. It's that way on purpose because it's a time-based thing. So if you reduce the amount of time it takes, or I'm sorry, if you make things go faster, you're going to get less mastery because you're going to make up for it with speed, or it's going to equal out with the speed that you take. So I'm not sure how that works out on the math part of it. But I thought it was kind of interesting because I was like, I've never noticed that before. So like I said, I would probably be inclined to run, say, the full skilling suit on here. Now, you see that this actually reduced the mastery and it reduced the time. If we go back here to crafting and I start crafting again, if I go and take this chisel off, this chisel says minus 0.1 second crafting interval. What we just looked at should reduce the mastery. So this is a 1.65 second interval with this applied and 736 and 368 for the mastery. If I take that off, the mastery doesn't change, 736 and 368. I can put this on and take it off. And the only thing that changes is the 1.65 to 1.75 interval. So I'm not exactly sure, it looks like some things do apply and some things don't. Now this chisel is from Atlas of Discovery, so if you don't have the Atlas of Discovery expansion, you won't have this. But even still, I don't know if that's a bug or a feature. Maybe it's because it gives you, I'm not sure. Maybe because it gives you the mastery, it reaccounts for what it would have taken off, but that wouldn't explain that this is for Melvor realm only, so it doesn't actually change anything. It's like I'm getting the interval reduction, but I'm not getting the lesser, like that's a bonus to have this because I'm not losing the mastery for it and I'm speeding things up. So I think that might be a little bit of a bug. Not sure. So I've been chugging along on this, and let's see here. Skill trees. We need to talk about skill trees. I had a question about that, and I actually went back to not the patch notes, but like it was one of the news articles we got about what was coming up, and when the expansion came out, they explained certain things, and I had to look at the skill tree again. If you have the same question that I did, do you have enough points to put points into everything on this list? That was my question. Or do I have to make a choice? Because you can't back out of this choice. Once you've made this choice, you're done. You can't go backwards. So these are generated 1 skill tree point gained per abyssal level. So every time you level up, so I'm at level 4, so I've got 4 points, or I had 4 points. And once I get the next level, I'll have another point. So I could look in here and I could, I'd have to gain a couple of levels, but I could get, if I saved up my money, I could get plus 5% chance to preserve consumable slot charges if I saved up 3 of these. I don't know that I want that one yet. I could get more crafting Abyssal XP. I could spend it on this one. I've got 1 point. I could spend this right now for 5% reduction in cost to produce Abyssal Realm items. I'm more inclined to go with the XP myself, so I'm kind of waiting it out to let this level up. But my main question was, can I apply points or do I have enough points to apply everything? Do I have to make a decision? Am I going to end up, regretting something? Basically, there is going to be no wrong choice. You just pick your points wherever you want to put them. As you level up, you'll get points in here, and there are enough points with level 60. I'm guessing it takes 60 points to fill this in. You're going to get enough points as you go through this whole thing, all 60 levels, I guess, for each one of these different trees, that you're going to fill the whole tree out. So there's not, you don't have to regret anything away. Maybe you take something you don't really want for the moment, like maybe you take cost reduction when you really want crafting XP or something like that. I don't know. I went ahead and put a couple of points in. I was kind of curious where it went, and it looks like this thing, I'm not sure if it's bugged or not, but this thing will highlight a little green number that says you have a point to apply. But I had like points in, say, attack or something, and when I spent them off, it didn't go away. Or all but one went away or something like that. There was a couple of these that I had points into, maybe mining and smithing, and it still showed points. Once I logged out and loaded back up again, I'm not seeing that behavior now. I still see one in crafting, which I'm not going to put this point here. I'd rather have the XP. But I wanted to point that out so you don't have to worry about allocating your points. Just put them where you want, or save up and follow a tree down if you want a particular tree to start off with. It doesn't matter because you'll get access to the other tree as well. So just put the points in where you want, save them as you want, however you want it. I'm focused more on, I did a little bit of Mastery XP here, but I want to focus more on the XP itself instead of the mastery side, because I want to level up as quickly as possible, because leveling up gets me more of those points and gets me access to more of the stuff in here. And we don't really have a lot of rings and stuff like we've just looked at. Like a lot of these rings don't apply, like the skilling rings, and none of that stuff really applies. I have not tinkered around with agility. So meaning, does this 10% chance to double items globally, does that affect this? So doubling items would be here, so that would be 62%. So if I come in here and change this to, what's an easy one? We'll change it over to this one. This says global mastery for XP realm. If I come back over here, 52%. So that does apply. So some things in agility do apply as well. This was over here, 10% chance to, I should have checked on that before I did it. Made sure I had enough to roll back. Let's see here. Now, do these say 10% chance to double items global, or 3% chance to double items globally, 2% global mastery XP. So we are at 44 and 62. So if I change this pillar to this, 47 and 65. So there are some things that do apply. It's still kind of goofy that some things do apply and some things don't. Like, it still feels odd that certain things do and certain things don't. But they have come in here and identified Melvor realm only. So they have really added some of that in here. Mastery XP doesn't count. 40% global gold, which is GP, so that's Melvor realm. That it doesn't really say Melvor realm, but GP is on the Melvor realm, so it doesn't work. I don't think I want this one. Adds bank spaces. I don't really care about that. 8% chance to double items globally and minus 3% interval. So we're looking at doubling items is 65% in 1.65 seconds. 65 in 1.65. And that is 73 in 1.55. So it is beneficial to go ahead and change some of the agility stuff in here too. But just pay attention to what you're changing and make sure it doesn't just say Melvor realm only, and make sure that what you're changing does apply. So doubling, resource preservation, mastery, that kind of stuff looks good. Interval reduction looks good. And I didn't pay attention when we changed this to what the mastery level was. Like, did the mastery go down because I changed that or reduced the interval? I'm not sure. So anyway, that's kind of all I've got for right now. I just wanted to roll this one out and spread the word along. I've got harvesting up to level 10, and I think this intensity has been reducing down because I was up to, it's definitely reduced down because I was up to abyssal vein seeds and pulling that stuff in, and it's definitely dropped. I wanted to let this go for a lot longer and hit 90 mastery, but man, this thing took forever to get, I looked at it here and I swore it was just not moving up on the mastery side. So it was taking forever. So yeah, I hit the checkpoint and get a little bit more mastery. I need to let that run. But then I started wanting to get into more combat and stuff like that. And what I'm looking at here with this crafting is I let this run on combat overnight. So I got a bunch of abyssal leather. So I've worked up the boots, the leggings, and then the body. I've got some like rings and amulets and stuff I can do. If I have enough of the materials, I'm not sure if I do, but I could do some rings and amulets. I don't think I can do, I can do consumables. So I can get a harvesting consumable. That's cool. I don't know where the Abyssite fragment comes from, but I could do that if I wanted. So are these, yeah, they're slightly different XP wise. So that's kind of what I've been working on. And I don't know, I've done some mining, worked on these. The XP gains are so slow. That's why I'm kind of wanting to put points into, I need to go back to mining. That's why I'm wanting to put points into like the mining XP and stuff like that. And I really probably should have held off on this, but I can get an abyssal gem with this. So I thought, all right, I'll put that in there, but I need to gain 2 levels, get more XP off of this. I don't know. Anyway, kind of getting beyond what I wanted to talk about here. But that is all I have for today. So hopefully you found something useful. That'll do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.